What's up? Hey, it's Chad Moore coming to you not so live from Beach Bluff, Tennessee. Hey, we're on the home front today. Got some work we got to get done around here. You're actually right now, you were propped up on an old hay rake that my Uncle Bill gave me. Went out to his farm and pulled it out of the woods, and I haven't done much with it, man. I think with all of its age and wear, I think it's actually a beautiful thing. So I'm gonna leave it just as it is, just not right where it is. All right, hey, so I'm thinking about putting the title for this thing, are you judgmental? Go ahead and answer that question. Are you judgmental? Yes or no? I don't know where the mix would be, 60-40, 50-50, I don't know. Most of the time we want to say, no, I am not judgmental. I'm not a judgmental person. But I want you to think about something. So a lot of times when we ask ourselves those type of questions, we get into real moral debates inside of us. Is it right to be judgmental? And the overwhelming majority of us are probably going to say, no, can't be judgmental. Nope, and that ain't me, Let's think about something real quick. You ever been in an interview? Have you ever done an interview with somebody? All right, so my former position at one of the manufacturing companies around this area, I did hundreds, maybe even thousands of interviews. And I can tell you that I'm a judgmental person. Back up a little bit. Why would you say that? Because when you walk into an interview, or when somebody walks into an interview with you, you're immediately trying to pass judgment. Matter of fact, you're trying to do it as quickly as possible. So, is this conversation going to be a waste of my time? A waste of their time? Is this place a good place for them? Or is it, are they right for us? Am I right for them? When you walk in the room, sorry, I have no idea if that kept recording or not. My battery light came up. When you walk into the room, judgment's being passed both directions, right? Or at least it should be. I always told everybody, if you're in an interview, if you're being interviewed for a position, you're judging the company just as much as they should be judging you. Do you want to work there, right? Look, as soon as you walk in the room, there's lots of things happening without a first word even being fired, okay? You're looking at them. How are they dressed? How do they present themselves? Are they prepared, They're looking at you. They're looking at you saying, all right, how are they dressed? Do they have a watch on? If they have a watch, does that watch work? Believe it or not, people pay attention to that stuff in interviews. If you're wearing a watch that doesn't work, it's show, okay? Then you get to the greetings. How do you shake how do you shake the hand? What do you say? Hi. Are you confident? Are you meek? There's lots of things happening just in the first 30 seconds of an interview that you don't realize, or maybe you do. Why is that? Why are those things happening? Very simply, to pass judgment. So everybody's gonna sit there and say, oh, judgment's bad. No, judgment's not bad. It's a natural part of life, It's natural defense mechanisms that we have built internally to read other people. Okay? What I would say is, when is being judgmental bad? I don't think it is. I don't ever think it's bad. I don't. I think you always have to pass judgment. Even to help somebody, you have to pass judgment, and you have to say, do they need help? And can I help them? That's key. Really, where being judgmental becomes a negative thing, it's the decision after the judgment. Okay? So let's say you meet a person and they're a drug addict. All right? We've all met them. Whether you realize or not, you've met somebody that's a drug addict. Once you pass your judgment, saying, yeah, I think they're a drug addict. I think they have a problem. What you do after you pass that judgment is whether or not being judgmental in your mind is correct or not. A lot of people are like, oh, I try not to be judgmental. If you're trying not to be judgmental, you're trying not to help people. That's true. So look, there's no secret that Angie and I have been through some pretty rough times over the past couple of years. And really during that whole process, lots of things were said, and lots of truth to it. There was a lot of truth to what we were doing that wasn't right and all that good stuff. I had an affair. I did. If somebody's reading my material before this, that they know that. And why would I be so upfront about that? It's because I know there are other people out there that have had an affair on their spouse and are struggling with it. Maybe they haven't admitted it yet, or maybe they've never planned on it. That's deep internal issues that you got, man, that keep you from being happy. But anyways, that's a whole nother subject. Being judgmental is what you do after the judgment. So you met somebody that's a drug addict. Now, if you're only out on that situation is just to solely distance yourself, So, hey, look, I've had drug addiction for my life. If people only chose to pass judgment and distance themselves from me, that is a negative reaction from your judgment. Okay? That's when I would say being judgmental is bad. You've distanced yourself from this person that obviously needs help, But sometimes it's not that simple, right? There are people out there that have not been addicted to drugs, but can still detect, or they understand, or they know a person that's addicted to drugs. They pass a judgment that says, hey, this person's addicted to drugs, and they distance themselves. But they don't distance themselves because they don't want to help. They distance themselves because they don't know what to do, right? Look, it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing for me, as somebody that struggled with drug addiction, to know what to do with somebody that's currently going through that. But I can identify with them. I can kind of think, all right, where are they at in this process? I've been there, If you don't know what to do once you pass the judgment, your next step is to find somebody that does. Hey, I know this guy, man, and you may not know him, and I know your walk. You know their walk. You're talking to this other person, and you say you know their walk. What do you mean? It means you know that this other person has struggled and conquered drug addiction in their walk. Well, what are you talking about, Chad? I'm talking about the networking side of Christianity, or just being a good person, So when I said I had an affair with my wife, I'm not proud of that. I'm not saying that because I'm proud of it. I'm saying that because it's important for me to be real and honest about the person that I have been for my networking purposes. I have a role. I have things that I can help people with, but other people may not be able to. Not because they don't want to, because they don't know how, So we talk about being judgmental, making a decision, and then your action after being that judgment is really important. If you don't know what to do, find somebody that does. How are you going to know what other people have been through and conquered if we don't network and share our experiences? I'm not saying get out there on Facebook land and say, hey, I cheated on my wife. That maybe not your wife. Might not be the best way to network. For me, I'm okay with it. I feel like, this is the most effective way to kind of reach out there and say, hey guys, this is who I am. I'm Chad Moore. Still struggle with things, but these are the things that I've gone through, and I want to say that I've conquered with the grace of the Lord. And these are the things I can help with. So the judgmental aspect of anybody is not a negative thing. It's the actions after the judgment that really, really matter. And I find that a lot of times and I've had people tell me that we distanced ourselves from y'all when y'all were going through this. And they didn't do it because they were bad people. They did it because they didn't know what to do, or they didn't know how to help. Look, if you don't know how to help, it's sort of like being a doctor. Do no harm, right? If I don't know how to help, I'm just going to stand back and be like, hey, man, I'm going to pray for you and hope everything turns out okay. And that's cool, too. Actively seeking out others that can help people in certain situations is important. And we're going to do that by networking and being honest about who we are. So I found that the more honest I am about who I am and what I've been through, the more I'm available to people. People, I think they have a lot easier time talking to somebody that's been through the same things that you've been. And I'm not saying that you need to go out and get a drug addiction to be able to help people with drug addiction. That's not what I'm saying. Don't misconstrue my words. But I am saying it's important to know your brothers and sisters in your faith. That way you can get those people in touch. I'm a DC Talk fan. I don't know if anybody knows who that is. It was a pretty big band when I was younger. It's a Christian rock band. They do a lot of different things, and then a lot of things have been kind of coming clear to me in my older age about things that I've heard when I was younger. And there's a song that DC Talk does. It's called "What If I Stumble, What If I Fall," and the first portion of that song is not a song at all. He says something, and this is not going to be verbatim. It's the general gist, and he says the greatest cause for atheism in the world is Christians that acknowledge him with their mouth, but defy him with their actions. And a lot of times I just used to think that was just talking about, oh, you know, Christians say there's a God and then they go out and sin. No, that's not what that means. That's not what it means at all. Because I don't care who you are, you're going to sin. If you're the most faithful Christian. Perfection is not a requirement to be a Christian. That's something that I've had to come to terms with. That's helped me in my walk. I'm not going to be perfect. That doesn't give you an excuse to do bad things. But what he's talking about is people go out there and they'll acknowledge God and say, yes, I believe in God and I believe in Christ and I believe that I'm saved. But then they'll go out and they'll pass judgment on people, which is fine. But their actions right after the judgment is what separates. And the world is like, wow, you call yourself a Christian, but you just judged this individual and chose not to help. That's when judgmental becomes bad. You know, don't get caught up in the oh, you know, you're not supposed to pass judgment. No, you are supposed to pass judgment. You are not the judge, jury, and executioner, though. That's not the thing. God gave us our senses and our knowledge and our ability to sense other people for a reason, and it's to pass judgments to do good things. You know, so that's kind of what it is. That's not very well put together. A bunch of talking in that. I probably need to get some notes. You can write some notes down and keep me. When I used to do classes at my old employer, man, I used to have this PowerPoint presentation behind me. I just click it, keep me on track. Apparently I need a PowerPoint presentation right there. It might help me out. But look, I'm gonna post this anyways. You know, it's pretty raw. No editing. Hey, if anybody out there that does editing and might give me some pointers and I might help me out, man, look, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna keep doing these crazy videos until the Lord tells me to stop. I've got a couple ideas on how I want to present some stuff, and hey, if anybody wants to be a contributor and help, not help me, but help others, that's my goal. You know, I want to be real. I want to be up front. Sometimes I want to be heavy. Sometimes I want to be funny. But ultimately, I just want to help people. All right. Hey, who's looking at you, kid? Y'all have a blessed day, and we'll do the same. Peace.